Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. So today we have a lesson about the basic of the Java syntax. That means very common and basic syntax when you use Java for programming. So we will talk about this lesson for today, and then in the next lessons you will know how the code is written and you can read the code correctly. Okay, hope that for the student who have never programming, who have never programmed or coding, you can learn from this lesson. Yeah, okay. And this is a very common, very easy and basic lesson, and you have to learn if you have never programmed. Okay, the objective is will have you to build the first Java program. We talk about the naming convention in Java and how you can create a valid identifier. Now, I will introduce about the data type in Java, and you will know about and you can distinguish between a variable type and value. Okay, and then we talk a little about the basic operator in Java, about the control statement, about conditional structure, looping structure, or branch, and how you can use arrays in Java. Okay, and we will pass. Oh, sorry, I have to record. Yeah, there's someone had record the lesson. Okay, thank you. Okay, and we will have 8 part in the lessons, and we will go through the 8 part. There are, you know that now there are many available online lecture you can learn from the internet. And for example, there are some free courses that you can follow. For example, here I show you a course, Java programming basics of the udacity.com, and you can register an account and you can follow this course free. Okay. So for someone who have new for Java and want to learn by yourself on the basics of Java, you can follow this course. It's free. Okay, and this some step you can go through and you can register yourself to this course. And in this course of the Udacity, you can pass some lessons like 1, 2, and 4, for example, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, for example. There are some common lecture as in my slide, and I use this Udacity course. Some of the figure or some of the illustration to my course. Okay, and you can take part in each lessons in the course, and you have the caption also. If you cannot hear correctly, you can see the caption. And this course is very easy, and they illustrate the information very easy to understand. Okay. Yeah, you can select the suited, for example. And now we talk about the first Java program. Okay, you will know what is Java program. Okay, the very first command in Java, for example, you can see in the screen, you have one command with it and with a semicolon. Okay, this one, for example, this here, you write down a command, yeah, and you end with the semicolon. Okay, this is the requirement for every Java command that you have ended with the semicolon. Okay, and this the expression that you want to print out to the output, and the default is this your screen, and you want to print out something. Okay, for example, here you print nothing but a new single line. And for example, you want to print out an exactly string or sequence of character. For example, you can put your message inside the quotation mark here, or the double quote here. Okay, you can print out to the screen some message. For example, hello world. For example, so this is your first command. And there are some notes for the Java command. Firstly, Java is case sensitive. What does it mean? Case sensitive. That means the lowercase and uppercase in Java is different. Okay. For example, if you print hello is different than hello. Okay, because the uppercase and lowercase is different in Java, and is defined two different things in Java. Okay, and as I said, you can use the quotation signal to construct a string or sequence of character. Okay, you can use exactly, and the system will not change it. And every statement in Java needs to be end with a semicolon. Okay, so because they use the semicolon to separate the statement, so you can write down multiple comment in one line. For example, you have the same line, you can write down 3 comment. Okay, because every comment is ended by the semicolon, so the interpreter can decide which is the comment. Okay, and then even you can write down one comment or one statement in multiple lines. That means you can write it down in 2 lines, and the compiler or the interpreter will read from the beginning to the end. When it reaches the semicolon, it stops, and it's defined that the whole string here is one comment or one statement. Okay, this is some remarks you have to remember. Firstly, as we talk about the coding style, that means when you write out your code, normally some of you just write the statement without comment or annotation, so it makes hard for others to read your code. So and even for you, when later or in the future or in 2 or 3 months later, when you reread your code, you cannot understand. So one of the coding style is you should use comment in your code. Okay, to describe or to annotate the purpose of some code, for example. And in Java, you have 2 kinds of making the comment. Firstly, you can use 2 slots like this to make a comment in one line. That means the interpreter, when it reaches the 2 slots like this, it will ignore from this position to the end of the line, and it consider that this a comment. Okay, the first way you can comment, and the second way when you want to make a comment in multiple line, you can use the symbol slot and asterisk. Okay, and you end it with the asterisk and slot. So this means when you want to make a multiple line. Okay. multiple line command. Okay. And when you want, for example, lately when you work for a company and they develop an application on Java and they need to build the document for Java, and so you have to use some kind of annotation like the slash and the double of asterisk, and then you have write down your comment. And then Java provides a function that they can extract these kind of command and to build the Java doc. Okay, the Java doc is very important when you develop an application in the company, for example, and later you can you can see the Java doc. Okay. So these two kind of command, and for example, when you see a list of code like this, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line of code. When there's no command, it can be hard to read the code like this. So if it will make your code more professional when you use the command. For example, you will comment for letter when you want to make it easy to to read your code, to read the code. Okay, even for you. For example, it's not your program is not only 5 or 6 command. It can be several class or several Java 5 is a hook of the code, so it's not easy for you to remember everything. So using the command can help you later when you want to read the code and you understand what did you do for this part of code, for example. So please remember, you should use your command in the code. Okay, so you can explain the code for other and even for you later when you read again your code. This I think is easy. Okay, and this the whole the complete program. Your first program, for example, you will have a program that print into the screen the sentence "Hello World," for example. And every Java program will be packed in a class. Okay, we know that in Java is a OOP, so everything is an object and is packed in the class. Firstly, you will have to create a file. Okay, you create a file and you name it. For example, you name it Hello World. For example, and you save it with the extension Java, for example. Okay, you create this file. And in this file, because you name it Hello World, so you have to declare a class named Hello World in this file. Okay, you pack in one class of the same name. Okay, in this file, and you type down a class Hello World, and you use the bracket like this. Okay, to include inside the contents of a class. Okay. And then inside the content of the class, you will have one very important function or method we call main, a main function or a main method. Okay, this is very important because this is the starting point of the program. Every program you want to run, you have to define one main function, okay, function or method, okay. And the GVM, we try to figure out, we try to locate where's the main function, and it will start with the main function. It will start with the first statement in the main function. Okay, so this is the starting point. Okay, so the starting point. Of an application. Okay, so every program, when you write down, you have you must have the starting point. Okay, this the first statement in the main, and then every statement in this main function will be SQ. Okay, and in this program, we just have only one command, which is the command print hello world into the output screen. Okay, and after editing your hello world.java, that means you copy this one into your hello world.java 5. You copy here, for example, something, and for example, you have to build it or to translate it into the machine code, the machine language. Okay, so firstly you have to convert it into the what we call the what we call the bytecode. Yeah, so you type your command Java C and your Java 5, and it will make you the bytecode 5. And then when you want to run your application, you type your command Java and the name of the class where it contains the main function, where it contains the main function. Okay, and it will output to you in the screen the string hello world. Okay, this is the way when you want to compile and to compile and to build and to run the source code in the command line. But when you use your IDA, for example, you use NetBeans or you use the IntelliJ, for example, it will make you easier when you can build and can run. There are buttons in your IDA. For example, build your project, and then you can run your project. Okay, so it makes you easy to do. It's more easier than you use the terminal and you use the command line. Okay, is this clear for you now? You know how you can build your first program. Is this okay, student?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So now we will go into more detail about the rule or the syntax of the Java, and you have to follow when you want to write down a program, a real program. Okay. Firstly, we talk about the identifier. What is this? Định danh. Identifier. That means định danh. And what does it mean, định danh?
The name of a variable?
Yes, not only variable, but it can be the name of everything in your program. For example, variable, method, object, for example, okay? That means quy định. Danh ở đây là name, là tên đúng không? quy định về các loại tên gọi. Đấy, thì chúng ta có thể diễn giải nghĩa Hán Việt ra là như vậy. Định danh là vậy, cách quy định các tên gọi như thế nào. Okay. So what is the identifier concept? Okay, as a guy said, that means how you can present a name of a variable. Okay, how you can name a variable or a constant, methods, object, class, five, for example. That means some kind of all the name. How you name everything in your program. Okay. And each identifier needs to be unique in the program. That means you cannot have two things with the same name. Okay, cannot have the same name. Okay. There are some rule, some regulation for you to follow when you create a valid identifier. The first thing is the identifier or a name should include character in letter, number, or dollar signal, or the underscore signal only. Okay, you just can use letter, number, dollar, and underscore symbol in your name. You cannot have, for example, acrobat. You cannot have acrobat in your name. You cannot have hash in your name, hash symbol in your name, for example, asterisk, for example. No, it cannot use in the name. And it's not allowed to start with a digit. It's not allowed to match a keyword or can contain space. For example, and you can see in the example here, in this case, you have some correct identifier, and here's the wrong identifier. Why we consider this they are wrong? For the first case, why this identifier is wrong?
The second one is start with a number character.
Okay, for the second it start with a number, so it's not correct. For the first one, why is wrong?
Subsignal.
Subsignal?
I mean dấu trừ.
Dấu trừ là gì? Không phải subtraction thì mới là trừ đúng không? Hoặc không là minus đúng không? Yeah. Oh yes, because it contains this symbol, and this symbol is not valid in a name, in an identifier. Okay, this is a minus signal. Okay, shop is the short for subtraction. Subtraction is phép trừ, đúng không? Nhé, là subtraction, chứ còn em nói sub không thì người ta hiểu là gì? Substation chẳng hạn thì cũng không phải, đúng không? Đấy, thì cái từ sub này có nghĩa là nhỏ, đấy là một phần nhỏ ở dưới chẳng hạn, thì cũng không phải. Okay, and for the third one, who know why this one is wrong? Because go-to is
keywords.
Yes, it's some kind of keyword. That means this keyword are a reserved word. Is the word is used for GVM, and the user cannot use this. Okay, you met the keyword, and the fault is easy because it starts with a digit. Okay, so there are some rule you have to remember when you want to name something in your program. Okay, and again we talked that in Java is everything is case sensitive. That means, for example, you have 4 names, 4 things. You name it, your name like this, like this, like this, and like this. You will have 4 different identifier because this is case sensitive in Java. Okay, so remember. And when you name something, we have some convention. Convention là gì? Ngầm quy ước với nhau, đúng không? Chúng ta có một vài cái quy ước với nhau. Firstly, it must be a reminiscence. Reminiscence. Okay? What does this mean? A reminiscence? That means something like gợi nhớ. Yeah. When you name something, you should choose a correct name that could be remind to you about this thing. For example, you want to have a name to tell about the price of a book. Okay, so you should use the name book price. It's better than use the name BP. For example, BP. What does it mean, BP? Maybe later you will forget it. Okay, you can remember what is BP means. Okay, so it should be used some name with which can remind you about what is it. Okay, you should use book price or price of book, for example. And when you name, okay, should be start with a letter. Yes, this is correctly. It cannot start with a DZ, and you should do it. Okay. And for the package name, there's some convention that you should use the lowercase letter or lowercase letter. For the package name, what does it mean? The package name later you will learn. And then for the class name, you should capitalize the first letter of each word. The first letter of each word. Okay. And for the method, you start with the lowercase letter, but the next word you capitalize the first letter. Okay. When you capitalize like this, it makes you easy to read. Okay. Because the package is occur rarely in your code. They just occur in the first line of your code, so it's not used frequently. So you can name like this. But for the other, you should use the capitalize for the remaining word, so it have you to read it correctly. Okay. And for instance, for constant, this a convention that you should use all capitalization. Okay, like this. So this for the constant. Okay, this the convention is not the rule, or you must use the convention, but the convention make you follow the coding style. Okay. And it make your code is easy to read by other. Okay. And you should here you should use the convention. Okay. Now we talk about the keywords. So the keywords is the words used by the JVM as I talk. So user cannot use the keyword to use as an identifier. You cannot use keyword as identifier. Okay, there's some keywords. For example, in Java we have a very small number of keywords, but for other language maybe you will have much more keyword. For example, noon, true, for these are some literal, and you cannot use this for naming. Okay, and there are there are the list of keyword in Java. Abstract, for example, and you will see for, if, for example, and you will learn about this keyword in the next lesson. And there are some reserved words also. For example, you see here the go-to. The go-to is the reserved words, so you cannot use go-to as a name. As a name. No, you can use this. Okay, so these are some keywords in Java. Okay, and now we talk to a very important thing in programming. What is a variable? Okay, for someone who have never code, or write a program, you should listen carefully about this part. Okay, this is very important. Variable, that means biến. Biến. What does it mean here? Disappear? No, this like biến đổi, đúng không? Nói về một cái gì đó có thể biến đổi. Đấy. Đấy. Variable, okay. Biến thiên, biến đổi, okay. So what is variable concept? Who have code? Some of you who have experiment in coding can tell to me how do you understand about variable?
We can imagine it like a box that store some value.
That store some value, yes. Yeah. To do what? We store the value to do what we can do with this store value.
Going to do maybe everything with it.
Everything with it. Okay. The store value, and the value here is the data of your program. Okay. Because we know that when we do something, we should have the data. Okay. So this is to store the value. Okay. Something is something to store the value. That means to store your data in your program. Okay. Thank you. And we explain to you by this illustration, we can use a box in the memory, okay, to describe a variable. Okay, what does this mean? A box in the memory. You know about your computer and you know about your memory, the memory of the computer.
Bộ nhớ.
Đúng rồi. Hình dung nó như là một cái khối nào đó ở trong bộ nhớ. Okay. And in the memory, what do you have? What do you have in your memory? Sorry, in your computer memory, not person memory. You have something we call the bit. Okay. And the value of the bit is
1 or 0.
1 or 0. Okay. In the memory, you just have the sequence of bit. Okay. So I will use this illustration for every lesson in my class. We have imagine the memory is as the sequence of bit. Okay, and each bit will have the value of 0 and 1. And when you have a variable, that means there's something you have to store the value, the data. You will define it and allocate it by a box of memory. For example, I will use this block to store something. Okay, I will use this box to store something. Okay, you have to locate a box in the memory, okay, to store your data, for example. Okay. And in this box, this box will contain a value of a certain quantity. Okay. For example, you use this box to store the number of students in our class. So in this box, this sequence of bits will be located, and it's we store the value of for example, in our class is 17 or maybe 70 students. Okay, so in this box, we store the value of 70, and it will be converted into a binary value, and it will like something like this, for example, 00111, for example. Okay, so a box in the memory will be used to contain a value for certain quantity, and it will have a name, and you call it the variable name. It will have a name. I will erase all. Okay, and this name will not be changed during your program. Okay, that not changed. First thing you have to remember about variable, you will have a variable name. Okay. Secondly, it will contain a variable value. Okay. Will be assigned a value, and this value can be changed. Okay. The name not changed, but the value can be changed. Can change. Okay. So this called variable like this. Biến thiên được mà, do là giá trị của nó là có thể thay đổi. Yeah. So when you define a variable, you have to define the name. Okay, and you assign to it a value. Okay, these the two first thing you have to remember about variable. Yeah. And what else? What do you need to focus for a variable? For example, you can store many kind of value, kind of data. The data can be numeric, 1, 2, 3, for example. The data can be some kind like the character. Okay. For example, you have to store the name of your class, the OOP. This is the character. It's not the number. Okay. So we call the kind of data to store the data type. Okay. And each box will be used to store only the fixed. Oh, sorry, I erased this also. Okay, so for each box, you will use to store a fixed kind of data. For example, you want to use this box to store number, you will use this to store number, or you will use this to store character, for example. So this is called the data type of a variable. Okay. The data type contain numeric, character, text, and later you know that it will be used to store the object value, what is in the OOP. Okay. For example, here you have a box with the name cow, and it stores the value 5 in the box. And here you have a box named code, and it stores the value A, this letter. Okay, A here is a letter or character. Okay, and here you have another box called with the name message, and you store inside the the sequence of letter hello, and you call the sequence of letter is string. Chuỗi nhá, chuỗi ký tự. And we call this type of the box is data type. So after all, you have to remember 3 things about a variable. A variable. Firstly, each variable should have a name, okay, to indicate that it will store which value, which data, okay. Secondly, it should have the data type. It's must. Here we call must, not should. It must have the data type. That means you use this box to store a letter or numeric or a string or an object, for example. You have to fix this. And then it will contain a value, okay? This box, what is the sequence of bits in this box, for example, okay? Vậy thì tóm lại có 3 điều các bạn phải nhớ về một cái biến. Biến là gì nào? Là một cái khối hoặc là một cái box, không biết gọi là cái gì. Đấy, một cái khối ở trong bộ nhớ dùng để chứa giá trị của một cái đại lượng nào đấy. Thế thì có 3 điều phải nắm được về cái biến này. Thứ nhất là cái box đấy nó sẽ phải có một cái tên gọi nhé. Để cho mình có thể phân biệt được cái box nọ với box kia, đúng chưa? Thứ hai là nó phải có kiểu dữ liệu. Tức là box đấy sẽ được dùng để lưu trữ các cái giá trị có kiểu là gì? Đấy, kiểu số hay là kiểu ký tự hay là kiểu chuỗi ký tự hay là kiểu đối tượng. Cái đấy cũng phải xác định trước. Đấy. Và cái cuối cùng là cái giá trị thực mà đang được lưu trữ trong cái box đấy là gì. Đấy. Tức là cái chuỗi bit ở trong cái box đấy. Một cái box thì sẽ có thể có nhiều cái bit mà. Đấy, có số lượng bit là khác nhau. Đấy thì các cái giá trị của cái bit đấy là 0 hay là 1. Và tùy theo 0 hay là 1 mà cái giá trị của cái box đấy nó là bao nhiêu nhá. Và với data type và name thì cái này là không thay đổi. Nhưng với value thì là bạn có thể là thay đổi. Tức là giá trị, đúng không? Ví dụ giá trị là tuổi của một sinh viên A nào đấy, đúng không? Thì năm nay tuổi là 10 nhưng mà đến 18 nhưng mà năm sau thì tuổi là 19. Vậy thì riêng cái giá trị này các bạn có thể biến đổi và vì vậy nó mới có cái tên gọi là biến nhé. Chúng ta đang định nghĩa một cái biến, nghĩa là các giá trị của nó có thể thay đổi theo thời gian, chỉ có tên gọi và kiểu của nó thì là phải cố định. Chưa? Vậy thì bây giờ nói đến biến không phải là trả lời rằng nó là XYZ, đúng không? Giống bạn nào đấy đang trả lời trên cái chat kia là XYZ, không phải nói đến biến, phải nói đến 3 vấn đề này trong biến. Được chưa? Is this clear for you?
Dạ đã rõ rồi ạ.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So please remember 3 things about the variable. Okay. Gì nhỉ? Nói đến biến là tên, kiểu, giá trị. Đấy là bộ 3 nhé. Một cái bộ 3 luôn luôn phải nói đến của biến là tên, kiểu, giá trị. Okay. Please remember. Nhớ được cái bộ 3 này thì các bạn sẽ áp dụng được vào khá là nhiều các cái và lý giải được các cái technology ở trong lập trình nhé. Okay, so we know that for variable you have the triple terms name, data type and value. So how you use a variable in programming? Okay, how you use this? Okay, firstly you have to declare the variable. Khai báo. Okay, when you use a variable in your program, you have to declare this variable. Okay, and you declare it by the name and assign it to a data type. Okay, So this means the two first thing, okay? Name and data type. Okay. Firstly, you have to declare the variable, okay? For example, okay, and maybe later. And when you have declared this name and the variable for and the data type for variable, you have to assign the value. The value for this variable. Okay, that means you have to make it clear about what is the name, what is the data type, and what is the values. So that means the three things. For example, you have a bus here, and you have to count the number of passengers in this bus. Okay, so firstly you will have to use a variable and you name it passenger. Okay, so how you declare it in Java? Firstly, you will declare the data type. This is the data type of the variable, and this is the name of the variable, and you have a small space, okay, at least one space between this data type and name, and you end it with a semicolon. Okay, so this is the first command you use to declare a variable with the name passenger and had the type of the numeric integer numeric, and in the Java is you as the ent. Okay, your ent is denote for the integer type. Okay, this is the first command you use. And after declare the variable, you have to assign the value. Okay, and you use the assignment operator. Phép gán, toán tử gán. The assignment operator to assign the value to a variable. Okay, for example, firstly, there's no one in the bus, so you assign the value 0 to passenger. Okay, and this command is ended with the semicolon also. Okay? So here you have two command. The first one, you declare a variable of the type integer and the name passenger. And the second command, you initialize the value for it to 0. Okay, so you have to declare and assign the value to variable before you use. Okay, and you can combine both declaration and initialization, the value at the same command or at the same time. For example, when you write down ent price and assignment operator 0, what does it mean? For example, for this command, what does it mean in this command? Who can answer me? Just for this this live command, what did what I do? You can imagine. It's not easy, I think, and I hope that every student have to understand clearly about the command you use. Firstly, in this command, you see ent and then price. So you can imagine that is we declare a variable name What is this variable name?
Price.
Yes, the name is price. Okay, this is the first n of the type.
Integer.
Yes, yes. Of the type int. That means integer value. Okay. Not at all. Okay. Sorry, it's not all. And with the same comment, we have the second part. We assign the value 0 to price variable. Okay. So you see, just only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 character, but you have to explain into these two things. Okay, firstly is declare variable name price of the type int, that means the integer type, and then it assign the value 0 to the variable. Okay, you have to explain like this about this comment. Is this clear for you? And I hope that every student have to understand clearly about a comment you use. Okay. Okay, for the second line, what do you have? What do you have in the second line? What do you have? The same thing you have to explain in two parts. The first one is, yeah, welcome.
Khởi tạo một biến có tên là speed.
Yes.
Dạng dữ liệu là int và gán giá trị 100.
Yes. Okay. So you have to explain like this. Just very short and simple, like simple comment like this, but it gives you three information. Okay. The first one is the name of the variable. The second is the data type of this variable. And the third one is the initial value of the variable. Okay, so please remember, because later I will ask you to explain for me every comment in a source code, and you have to understand. Okay, so we return to this. If you just have the data type and the name, you have the declaration. Okay, if you have the assignment operator, you have the initialization or the assignment comment. Nhớ nhá, nếu chỉ có kiểu và tên của biến thì đấy mà mình chỉ có câu lệnh khai báo, đúng không? Một cái biến có kiểu là gì? Đấy. Còn nếu có dấu bằng thì đấy là câu lệnh để khởi tạo giá trị, đúng không? Hoặc là gán giá trị cho cái biến đấy. Đấy là cách viết thứ nhất. Cách viết thứ hai là kết hợp viết cùng trên một dòng. Thì một cái dòng này có ý nghĩa là gì? Có 3 cái gạch đầu dòng, đúng không? Thứ nhất là khai báo một biến, có tên là gì, kiểu là gì, và cái thứ ba là gán giá trị bằng bao nhiêu. Đấy là chỉ một câu lệnh duy nhất ngắn gọn như thế này, nhưng các bạn phải diễn giải được 3 cái khái niệm như thế này. Okay, and when you explain to this meaning, you have to explain, you have to imagine again in the memory. What happened in the memory? Okay, so what happened in the memory when you do like this? Firstly, you declare a variable named price of the type ent. That means in the memory, there will be a box to store the value of price. Okay, these are the memory. Okay, firstly, you declare variable name price of the type ent. That means in the memory, it will be allocated to you a box to store the value for price. Okay, and how many bits in this box? It depends on the type of the variable. Okay, for example, here you will know later, but here I show to you. For example, you define a variable of the type ent. That means it will shift to you 4 byte. It will allocate to you a box of 4 byte. That means 32 bits to store the price. Okay, something like this. You have to imagine about the memory. And it assign the value 0 to price. What does it mean? It means every bit in this memory will be 0. Okay, you have here 32 bit. Okay, 32 bit. For example, something like this. I demonstrate like this. Okay, and every bit is 0 because it's assigned the value 0 to price. Okay, you can imagine this. Okay, I will erase this to you. Okay, can you imagine like this about the variable? Okay. 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 Okay, I will talk again to you because it's very important, and when you get familiar with this demonstration or illustration, later you can control by yourself every comment in coding. Nhớ cô giải thích lại một lần vì cái này nó rất là hay để sau này các bạn có thể tưởng tượng và các bạn có thể làm chủ được những cái câu lệnh của mình, các bạn hiểu thấu được cái vấn đề của câu lệnh đấy là nó làm cái gì nhá. Please listen carefully. Okay. When you have a set statement, for example, the very simple statement of declaration and assign a value to a variable like this. Okay. In your code, you write down like this: ent price equals 0 and semicolon. Okay. That means you have to explain this comment that here we declare a variable name price of the type ent, and we assign the value 0 to this variable. Okay, that is what you explain. And then you imagine that in the memory, what happened in the memory when your program running. Okay, you have to imagine what happened in the memory when you run this code. Firstly, because you said that you have to declare a variable name price, that means in the memory it will allocate this thing will change to firstly it's allocate to you a box in the memory. To store price, to store price quantity. Okay, firstly it will allocate a box in the memory to store the price quantity. And the size of the box will be how to say, will be fixed by the size of the type. For example, here it is defined as an ENT type, and in Java ENT is mean 4 byte. That means it's 32 bits. So the size of the box is 32 bits. Okay, this is fixed by the type of the data. Okay, this is a data type. Okay, and the third one, the value. Oh my God, the value of the box will be 0 because we assign 0 to price. So the value of the box is 0. That means 32 bit. Every bit in this box is 0. Okay, and later when you change the price to, for example, the price now you change to 4, what will happen? What will happen in your memory when you change the price to 4? Someone can tell me?
Bit thứ 3 nó sẽ chuyển thành số 1.
Yes, yes. So when you change the value of a variable, okay, the value of the box we change. And for example, we change to 4, that means here is 1. Okay, it depends on the order of the bit also, but now just for illustrate, I change the value of the bit, the third bit is to 1. Okay, so we can change the value of the variable, you know, but you cannot change the name and the type of a variable. That means the box is fixed. Okay, the box is fixed in an address. Okay, and in the size. Okay, nghĩa là gì? Bây giờ tóm lại mở rộng tiếp cho các bạn để hiểu về một biến. Đấy, lúc nãy mình nói là biến là một cái bộ nhớ, phần ô nhớ như vậy, đúng không? Một cái khối nhớ như vậy. Thế thì bây giờ nghĩa là gì? Sau khi mình đã khai báo một cái biến, nghĩa là trong bộ nhớ của tôi sẽ để ra một cái ô nhớ cho nó ở một cái địa chỉ nào đấy nhá. Ở đây ô nhớ thì đi kèm với nó là có cái gọi là cái địa chỉ của cái vùng nhớ. Đấy, địa chỉ của cái bit đấy nó là số thứ tự là bao nhiêu. Đấy, thế thì khi khai báo một biến, nghĩa là các bạn đã cố định một cái vùng nhớ cho biến đấy ở một cái địa chỉ nào đó, và kích thước của cái bộ nhớ đấy sẽ phụ thuộc vào cái kiểu dữ liệu mà mình khai báo cho cái biến đó. Đấy là hai cái thông tin mà chắc chắn là không thể thay đổi nhé. Trừ khi sau này bạn giải phóng cái biến đấy đi, không dùng biến đấy nữa, thì vùng ô nhớ này được giải phóng đi và những chương trình khác muốn dùng thì có thể dùng. Còn khi bạn đã khai báo một biến thì chương trình sẽ cố định một cái vùng nhớ, tức là khi bạn chạy ấy, thì chương trình nó sẽ cố định một cái vùng nhớ trong bộ nhớ từ địa chỉ thứ bao nhiêu đến địa chỉ thứ bao nhiêu. Đấy, là dùng để lưu trữ cái biến đó. Đấy. Và các bạn truy cập đến cái vùng địa chỉ vùng nhớ đấy thông qua cái tên của cái biến là price nhá. Kích thước của cái biến đấy, kích thước của vùng nhớ đấy phụ thuộc vào cái kiểu dữ liệu mà tôi khai báo cho cái biến đó. Còn giá trị các cái bit bên trong thì phụ thuộc vào giá trị mà ta gán cho cái biến đó nhé. Đấy thì hy vọng rằng là Cô trình bày rất là chậm và kỹ về phần này thì các bạn hiểu được hết, đúng không? Về cái ý nghĩa của một cái câu lệnh khai báo biến và khởi tạo biến thì nó là như thế nào. Đấy. Mình nhớ được cái cách diễn giải như thế này và mình nhớ được cái hình ảnh ở trong memory như thế này thì sau này khi mình giải quyết các cái bài toán lớn hơn thì mình sẽ hiểu được là tại sao nó lại hoạt động như vậy nhé. Is this clear for you until now? I think it's clear. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So please remember three things about a variable. Name. What is?
Data type.
Yes, data type. And value. Yeah, okay. These three things. And when you map to the memory, what does it mean, these three things? Name we map to address in the memory. Okay. Data type we map to the size of the box.
Yeah.
Okay. And the value we map to
The content inside.
yes, the content or the value of each bit in this box. Okay. So very important. Please remember to me this. Okay. Nhớ nhá, nhớ cái bộ ba này. Tên, kiểu và giá trị nó sẽ tương ứng với trong bộ nhớ là ở địa chỉ nào, kích thước cái ô nhớ đấy là bao nhiêu và giá trị của từng cái bit trong ô nhớ đấy là bao nhiêu nhá. Đấy là ba cái khái niệm rất quan trọng khi nói về một biến. Đấy thì hy vọng là các bạn sau cái giải thích này của cô thì các bạn nắm được rõ ràng về cái biến như vậy nhé. Và khi đã hỏi về biến thì đừng trả lời cô là đấy là XYZ nhé. XYZ không có ý nghĩa gì lắm, đúng không? Đấy, thì mình phải hiểu tường tận nó là như vậy. Một cái biến của tôi nó tường tận nó là như thế. Ok? Okay, so when you are very clear about this, everything will be simple. Okay? Later you can use the variable. Okay? Firstly, you declare and you initialize, and now you use the variable. Declaration, initialization, and now you using. Okay, there are three steps when you want to use a variable. Okay, đầu tiên là phải khai báo, phải khởi tạo giá trị ban đầu và sau đó là bắt đầu dùng nhé. You have this first statement to declare what else? You want to declare what here?
Name.
A variable name.
Count the size of variable.
A variable?
The size.
You declare a variable name passenger, okay? And what else? Of the type ent. Okay, this is just for the first comment. Okay, and then in the second comment, what do you do?
The zero size to
Zero is assigned to passenger. Okay, you assign the zero value to passenger variable. Okay, yes. And then, for example, you have the third statement. For example, you have the third statement. What I do? This third statement. You see passenger assigned to passenger plus 5. That means you
find the current
Okay.
value.
Yeah, you add 5 to the current value of passenger. Okay, you change the value of passenger. Okay, and here in this comment, you add the current value. You use the current value of passenger, and you add 5 to it, and then you have a new value, and you assign this new value to passenger. Okay. Đúng không? Đoạn này nhìn nhé, trông thế này thôi nhưng mà cũng nhiều thao tác. Thứ nhất là gì? Phải lấy ra giá trị hiện tại của passenger là bao nhiêu, cộng với 5, đúng không? Thì là ra một giá trị mới và gán giá trị mới này về trở lại passenger. Đấy, trong một câu lệnh thế này thôi nhưng nhiều cái bước phải thực hiện. Vậy thì bây giờ cái ô nhớ của mình là làm sao? Okay, so it will see to the memory. This is a passenger box. Okay, the current value is 0. It will take 0 and it will add 5 to 0. It makes 5, and then it saves 5 to the passenger. So now in the box it will be 5. It will not 0 anymore. Okay. So after this statement, in this box of the passenger is 5. Okay, I think it's clear. And then what happens if you have the fourth statement? What will happen with this fourth statement? It will get the
current value.
Value,
and after that is
yes. And it is 2, and then it will assign 2 to
the passenger.
To the passenger. Okay. And now in the memory box, the box for the passenger, we have the value 2. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So please, you always map between your comment and the memory. It is the best, very best way. I think this is the best way to imagine and to understand the coding. Always mapping. Always map between your code and your memory. Okay, and you can understand clearly what happened. Okay, so lately when you have the final statement, this is a statement print. You print out a value, the current value of the variable. Okay. And it will print out to you in the screen the values 2. Okay. Okay. And remember that when you want to print out the value of a variable, you don't use the quotation around the variable name. Okay. And it will print out to you the current value of a variable. Don't use the quotation around the variable name. Okay, if you have the quotation like this, what will be printed in the screen?
Passenger.
Okay, so remember everything inside the quotation will be printed out to the screen correctly like this, exactly like this. Okay, so when you want to print the current value of variable, you don't use the quotation around the variable. Okay, you use like this. Okay, and it will print to you 2 into the screen. For example, this is your screen, and it will be print 2. Okay, and another remark for you, that the passenger, if the passenger have not been declared yet, you will get an error. Okay, for example, you don't declare the passenger, you don't use this command, and your first line you write the passenger equals 0, for example, you will get the error. When you run this program, you will get the error. It will say to you that you have not defined passenger, for example. So remember 3 steps when you use a variable: declaration. Okay. Secondly, initialization, and later you can use, okay, the variable. Okay. And when you declare, you have to provide 2 things. The first is the name and type of the variable. Okay. And when initialize, you will use assign and value, true value. Okay. And later, when you use the variable, you can assign a new value for this variable. Okay. So please remember 3 steps when you use a variable. Okay. Is this okay? Yes. Is this okay? Có ai chưa hiểu không nào? Thì phải hỏi ngay. Okay. Okay. So we go to the next slide. Ai không hiểu thì coi như là hiểu hết rồi nhé. Về sau cô cứ thế cô hỏi thôi. Okay. We talk more about the variable. Okay. Everything is not very simple. We talk about the scope of variable. Okay. Phạm vi của một biến. Là phạm vi sử dụng của một biến. Okay. The scope of a variable is the program area to which the variable can be referred or a variable. Okay. Tức là cái vùng chương trình mà cái biến này có thể được sử dụng, nhé, được tham chiếu tới hoặc là được sẵn dùng. Đấy. So each variable will have its scope of variable. Okay. And it will allow you to use the variable. Shortly, we can call something like this. Where that means is where. Where's my pen? Where you can use this variable. And use here mean you declare it, you initialize it, and you change the value of it. Okay, it's where you can use this variable. Okay, we have 2 kinds of variable: scope, global, and local. Okay, một cái là gì? Biến toàn cục và biến cục bộ. Okay. There are two types of variable. Okay, in programming generally. Okay, we have the global variable and the local variable, and something we can say that maybe in Java we don't have the robot variable. Most of the variable in Java is declared in a class or in a method, and it has a local variable. Okay. And what does it mean, local variable? That means a variable is declared in a method or a block of code, and it can be a set only in that method or that block. Okay. Tức là khai báo ở đâu thì chỉ được dùng ở đấy mà thôi nhé. Đấy là biến cục bộ. For example, you have this sequence of code. You have the first line, second line, the 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you have 6 lines of code. Okay. For example, in the first line, you see what maybe this I will explain to you. This is a type. This is a data type. Name Boolean. Okay. And in the first line, what do you have? It is a declaration for variable name. What is the name of the variable in the first line?
Is light green.
Yes, this is the name of the variable. It's like green. And the type Boolean. Okay, Boolean. Boolean là kiểu chỉ có giá trị 0 và 1, true và false, đúng không? Okay, in the first line you have this declaration of a variable name is green line, is like green of the type Boolean. In the second comment, you have a if statement. Or a control statement. Và đây là một cái câu kiểm tra điều kiện. Conditional. Control statement. And you see you have this bracket. Okay. This curly bracket. Okay. And we define everything inside a pair of curly bracket is a block of code. Everything inside the curly bracket is a block of code. Okay. And in this block of code, you see you have this one. This one is a declaration also for a new variable name car speed. Okay. And then you do something with this car speed. Okay. You assign the value 100 and you do something. And the scope of a variable is start from its declaration and end before the the end at the end of the code block. Where it is declared. Okay. Scope a variable will start from where its declaration and end it before the end the close curly bracket of the block code. Okay. So you can see in this example, the car speed block, the speed scope will be from the line 3 to the line 5, end of 5, okay, before the 6. Okay. Là phạm vi của cái biến car speed này là ở đâu, bắt đầu từ chỗ mà nó được định nghĩa cho đến gì? Kết thúc cái khối lệnh mà nó nằm trong đấy nhá, mà nó được định nghĩa. Cho nên nó sẽ bắt đầu từ dòng lệnh số 3 cho đến dòng lệnh số 6. Đây là phạm vi của cái biến car speed và các em chỉ có thể sử dụng biến car speed trong cái phạm vi này mà thôi nhé. Đấy. Nếu đến đây có dòng lệnh số 7 mà ở đây các bạn lại dùng car speed cộng 1 chẳng hạn, car speed bằng car speed cộng 1 thì có được không?
Không ạ.
Không được, đúng rồi, vì phạm vi của nó chỉ có là gì? Từ dòng 3 đến dòng 6 mà thôi nhé. Nghĩa là ngoài cái phạm vi đấy chúng ta không thể sử dụng cái biến car speed này được nhé. Đấy. Thế còn với cái biến is light green này thì nó sẽ bắt đầu từ đâu? Thì sẽ bắt đầu từ dòng 1 cho đến gì? Oh my god. Cho đến chỗ nào đó mà có thể là hết, đúng không? Vì ở đây mình không rõ là bắt đầu kết thúc thế nào cho đến cuối cùng nhé. So please remember the scope of the variable is where you can use this variable. It starts from its declaration from where its declaration and it ends. And it ended at the close bracket of the code block. Okay. And you see in this example, they draw the green rectangular and the blue rectangular, and it say this car speed scope and this is light green scope. Okay, this the rectangular like this. Okay, and if outside, for example, in the 7 line, you use car speed, you will get this error. You cannot, the program cannot understand what is car speed, okay, because you set it outside the scope. Okay, so remember what is the scope of a variable. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. And so we will stop now at the 2, and we will return at the 2:10, 2 to 10, 10 to 2. Okay. Okay. We will come back after 10 minutes. Okay, we stop. Take break a little. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, brother. Okay, brother. Okay, we will go to the next section in this lessons. Okay, so you know about the variable, okay, and now you will be introduced about the data type. So how many data type and what is the basic data type you can use in Java? Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So we talk about the basic data type in Java. Okay. So according to the different criteria, you will have different data type. And each data type we have we has a defining property and has its own instance type. And you know a data type that means you can have some kind of numeric, for example, character, for example. And in generally, in Java, we divide there are two types of data type. The first one we call the primitive data type. That means dữ liệu có kiểu nguyên thủy. Yeah. Primitive data type. We have integer, what mean số nguyên. Okay. Real number, nghĩa là số thực. Hoặc là số thực dấu phẩy động, floating. We have character, ký tự. And we have a boolean value, tức là giá trị đúng sai đấy. Logic chẳng hạn, giá trị logic đúng không? True false. Đấy. So why is called primitive? Why is called primitive? Who know? Primitive, that means it's the basic of other type. Tức là những cái kiểu nguyên thủy, nghĩa là kiểu cơ bản, kiểu cơ bản để hình thành ra các cái kiểu khác, đúng không? Kiểu này không thể chia nhỏ hơn được nữa nhé. Okay. And we have another kind of data type is called reference data type. Đây là kiểu tham chiếu. And you will have array and object. Every object, every class you define, it will be reference data type. Okay. So we have array and object. Object, that means Java object. And user defined object. Oh my God. My pen is always have this. It's not beautiful like this. Okay. So you remember that in Java we have two types: primitive type and reference type. Okay. And now we will go. We will go in more detail about this type. But firstly, you have to have a remark that the size of the primitive type is defined by the JVM. So it's the same on all platforms. Okay. That means how many, there's a size here. That means how many, excuse me, I have a call. Okay, excuse me. Yes, I come back. Okay. Firstly, we talk about the size of the type. Okay. Let's we talk that the data type, that means how big the box in the memory. And in Java, they decide that the size of the data type is the same on all the platform. Okay, how many bit? Okay, for each data type. So you can remember that they are the same on all platforms. So no problem with how many by an integer and how many by a float. For example, as maybe when you learn the C, you can see that it depends on the platform how many by for data type in C. Okay, and when you choose the data type, you have to balance between your need and memory saving. Okay, so please use something adequate or something how to say save your memory when you choose the data type. Don't use a very big box just to store the value from 0 to 9, for example. Don't use very big box to do this, or don't use some too big or too small to store the value. Okay, so you have to balance between your need and the memory saving. Okay, so we will go to talk about the primitive data type. The first type is integer, số nguyên. Okay, and in the integer we have two kinds. We have here four. We have here 4 kinds of integer. Okay, all the integer have the sign. That means it can be a positive or negative value. Okay, and it has no decimal, không có phần gì, phần thập phân. Okay, and the box will be initialized with the value 0. Okay, at the beginning when you declare a variable, and it will be initialized with the value 0. You will have 4 kinds of integer. The first one is a byte, which is use 1 byte to store the value. That means you will have a box of 8 bits. Okay, when you want to declare variable, just store the value from minus 2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. You will choose the byte. Okay, tức là tùy theo cái giá trị số nguyên mà mình dùng, nó có cái khoảng biểu diễn từ bao nhiêu đến bao nhiêu, đúng không? Thì mình sẽ chọn những cái kiểu dữ liệu phù hợp. Ví dụ nó chỉ biểu diễn trong cái khoảng là trừ 2 mũ 7 đến 2 mũ 7 trừ 1 thì bạn chỉ cần 8 bit để bạn biểu diễn thôi. Vì vậy bạn hãy lựa chọn khai báo cái kiểu dữ liệu cho cái biến đấy là kiểu byte. Đấy, thì nó sẽ chỉ dùng 8 bit. Okay. You have short. Short will use 2 byte, that means 16 bit to store the value, and the range is from here to here. Okay. For ENT, you will have 4 byte, that means 32 bit, and it will use to represent the range from minus 2 power of 31 to 2 power of 31 minus 1. Okay, and for the long, it will use 8 byte, that means 64 bit. Okay, this is 4 kinds to represent an integer, and you will choose the corresponding kind, corresponding type with your data. Okay, and remember this how you declare the kind of integer. For example, here you declare a variable name max ent of the kind ent. That means you will use a box of 4 byte to present max ent. Okay, this 4 byte. and you define a variable much more of the long kind. That means you use this box of 60 bit, and that means 8 byte to represent much more. Okay. Yeah, this is the number of bits or the number of byte for each data type. And then to present the real number. The real number here you can you will use to represent a value with the sign that means positive or negative, has the decimal place, okay, because it's the real number, and it will be initialized with a value of 0.0. Okay, you have two kinds of real number, the float and the double. Okay, for the float you use 4 bytes to present, to represent the value, and for double you have 8 bytes. This is just the size of the box is smaller or bigger. Okay, this is 4 bytes, and this is 8 bytes you use. For example, in this slide you define a variable name fraction. Okay, this variable name fraction of the type double, and you init the value 99.275. Okay, this is the value. Okay, so this is two kinds of representation for real number. Okay. And for the character in Java, they have the kind car character. That means it's short for character of the size 2 byte. They use 16 bit to represent the character, and because they use 16 bits, so they can present the Unicode character. Okay, what do you know about Unicode character? Unicode, this is a table of mapping between the symbol and the not the value in binary. Okay, for example, you know that in the memory we just have 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So how they can use this sequence of binary, sequence of bit to represent a character, for example, character A or character B. Okay, so they must have this table of mapping, tức là phải có một cái bảng ánh xạ, đúng không? To map between the value and the symbol. For example, for A, it will be mapping to the value 65 or 36. I'm not remember, but you can search in the Google and you can see it. Okay, so firstly they just use the mapping here to map all the character in English from A to Z, for example. So for other language, for example, for Japanese, for Vietnamese, for example, we have very other character. I don't know how to write down on Japanese, for example. So you will need a bigger table. And this is why you have the Unicode table, for example, which use bigger size of character. For English, and they just use 8-bit is enough to represent all character in English. But for other language, you will have to use 16-bit to represent all the character. For example, this character. Okay, so So they create the Unicode table to mapping from even every character in the world to the value. Okay. So this is why in Java they use a Unicode character, and they use a 2 byte to represent the character, so it can be represent every character in the world. Okay. And note that the character you are placed it between a single quote. Okay, it's different from string. For example, when you print out hello world, this is a string. That means sequence of character. And you have to use the double quote or quotation, double quotation mark. But for the character, you have to use the single quote, only a single quote to present a character. Oh my God. For example, A. Okay. For example, the string hello world will be a collection of H plus L, E plus L, for example, like this. Okay, to make the hello world. Okay, so remember, character use a single quote. Okay. And when you define a variable of the kind character, khi mà mình định nghĩa một cái biến có kiểu là character đúng không? You can assign the value in two ways. The first one, you use the value in the mapping table. You look up in the table and you know that this character have the value like this, and you use this to represent the variable, or you can use the character by this form, okay, to represent a variable. Okay. Có hai cách để biểu diễn cái giá trị của một character, đúng không? Một là map tra ở trong cái bảng mapping đấy, xem là giá trị của nó là về mặt số nó là bằng bao nhiêu. Còn cách thứ hai là biểu diễn là dùng luôn cái ký tự này nhé. Cái này thì đương nhiên là chỉ phù hợp với gì? Với cái bàn phím, những ký tự có trên bàn phím của các bạn mà thôi, đúng không? Đấy. Hoặc là có trên bàn phím cộng với bộ gõ. Đấy. Thế nhưng mà ví dụ chúng ta là có bàn phím tiếng Anh, không có bộ gõ tiếng Việt. Đấy, mà bây giờ bắt chúng ta biểu diễn một ký tự tiếng Việt thì các bạn phải làm gì? Phải tra ở trên cái mapping table này xem là cái chữ Á chẳng hạn. Đấy, chữ Á này chẳng hạn. Thì nó tương đương với cái giá trị bằng bao nhiêu? Đấy, giá trị là không bao nhiêu đấy, ví dụ 51 chẳng hạn. Đấy. Biểu diễn dưới dạng hexa chẳng hạn. Đấy, thì sau đấy là biểu diễn cái gì giá trị Á đây. Đấy. Còn nếu mà mình không có bộ gõ, không có bàn phím thì mình không thể gõ được cái ký tự đấy vào cái code nhá. Java rất may mắn là nó hỗ trợ chúng ta gõ cả tiếng Việt, đúng không? Gõ xin lỗi, gõ Unicode character thì các bạn mới làm được, chứ còn nhiều ngôn ngữ là không hỗ trợ. Đấy. Okay, and the default value is 0 for all bit. Okay, so you see in this example, you see that this is correct, this is correct, but this is not, because here you have two characters. When you have two characters, that means you have a string. Okay, it's not a character, so this comment is wrong. Được chưa? Nhớ cách biểu diễn một character nhé. Và chỉ có một ký tự duy nhất và sử dụng single quote. Hai ký tự như này thì không phải là character nữa mà đã biến thành là chuỗi ký tự rồi. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you. So I think I have to move quickly. Okay, we talk about the logical value. Okay, you just can store either true or false value. Okay, and this value type is Boolean. Okay, for example, here you define a variable named fact. of the type boolean, and its value is true. And this is the second variable condition, and it has the value 4. This is just two literal you can have for boolean. Okay, and the ent value cannot be used in place of the boolean value. For example, you cannot assign fact to 1, or you cannot assign condition to 0. No, you cannot do it in Java. Okay, in C you can do it, but in Java no. Okay, and the initialization value is 4. Okay, I have to go quickly. And string data type is a very special data type in Java, because it's not the primitive type, it's reference type. Because later when you learn about class, you will know that string is a class of Java. A predefined class in Java. Okay, and the string type is used to store a string of character. That means a sequence of character. For example, Java is a fun, is a string. Hello is a string. Email like this is a string. And it's sequence of number, but it's represented by character is a string. It's different from character, you know. Character is just one character. Okay. And you can declare and use a variable of type string like this. You declare a variable name driver of the string type, and then you assign a value for this string. For example, this driver is equal to Hamid. That means you have this box and you put the value Hamid to the box. Okay. And here you can have you can do some action with the string. For example, you can get the number of letters of the string with the method length, or you can get every letter to capitalize character with the method to uppercase of the driver object. Okay, so maybe at the beginning you just try to learn how you use string, and later you will know exactly about the object, about the class of string. Okay, but now try to remember how to use some method of the string, for example, length, or to uppercase, for example. Okay, when you use length, you will count down how many characters in this string, and here use uppercase all letter in the Hamid string. Okay, and even you can add two string with the additional operator. Okay, có thể dùng toán từ cộng để cộng hai cái sâu này, để ghép hai cái sâu này lại với nhau. Okay, so you see your first statement. What do you have in the first statement? What do you have?
A string.
What? Let you explain to me as I explain to you. You define a variable. Yeah. Name
is drive first name.
Name driver first name. Okay. Of the type.
Variable is string.
Of the type string. Yeah. Okay. This is everything you have to explain just for the first line. Okay. In the second line, what do you have?
We have Hamid
reference to
we assign the value Hamid
to string driver first name.
yes to driver first name variable name variable. Okay, you assign a value to a variable. Okay, and then the same for the two and the third and the fourth line. You have a variable driver last name, and then you assign the value break. Okay, black. And in the fifth, you win. What do you have? This one is a little complicated. What do you have in this comment? What do you have in the fifth comment? Firstly, you define
variable name.
yes, you define a variable
This driver full name.
driver full name.
Type string.
Okay, of the type string. Yes, correctly. And then
We assign the
yes, the current value of
driver first name plus
yes plus driver last name, the new value. Okay, to full name, to driver full name. Okay, yes, correctly. So can you guess what is the new value of driver full name now?
Hamis Black.
Black.
Okay, let me write down Hamis Black like this. Is this correct?
No.
No. Why?
Do not have a space.
Yes. Be careful because here this is just the concatenate directly between two strings. And you see the first string you end with H and the second string you begin with B. So here, if you write out like this, that means here you have a space. But in this case, we don't have space. The result is Hamid. The first string ends with H and the second string start with B. So you have to write out like this. Okay? So be careful with the string. The space is very important, and the space is a character also. Okay, remember. Yeah, the space is a character also. So you cannot use space as you want. No, you have to respect the value of the true string. Okay, so remember this Hamid Black without space. Okay. Cái này nhớ nhá, cái này mà cô chấm bài đấy, bài thi hoặc là các bài của các bạn viết mà chỉ cần thừa những cái dấu khoảng trắng là hỏng nhá. Đúng bao nhiêu khoảng trắng viết đúng bấy nhiêu khoảng trắng. Chúng ta là lập trình mà. Đúng là đúng mà sai là sai nhá. Okay. Oh sorry, why I have print out here already. We print out the Hamid Black without space. Okay. And again, for example, I have this sequence of statement. Can you guess what will be printed out? Can you get what will be printed out?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Why we don't code string driver first name equal Hamis instead of coding string driver first name and driver first name equal Hamis? It's so long, longer than.
Oh, sorry. What do you mean? You mean in the first example?
Cái câu string driver first name ấy, mình viết string driver first name bằng Hamid luôn cũng được ạ.
Được.
Sao lại phải viết kiểu chia ra như kia?
Lúc nãy cô vừa giải thích có hai cách em viết. Cách này viết thì để làm sao? Chẳng
Kiểu
qua
là tại sao mình lại
không,
viết chia ra ấy ạ?
cái việc em viết như thế nào đấy là quan điểm của em, không có quy tắc bắt buộc em phải viết thế nào, đúng không? Ok, nếu em viết như thế này thì nghĩa là gì?
Nó hiệu quả khác.
Không, nó thực ra nó cũng về mặt hiệu quả thì cô nghĩ nó không khác nhau gì cả nhá. Và nó chẳng qua nó chỉ tốn thêm một dòng của em, một vài ký tự thôi, nhưng mà cái của nó là nó có thể là sau này em sẽ thấy là nó dễ nhìn hơn chẳng hạn, thì hoặc là nó giúp em phân định được ra rõ ràng đây là gì. Hai câu lệnh, một câu lệnh đầu tiên để gì? Khai báo một biến có kiểu là gì. Câu lệnh thứ hai là để khởi tạo giá trị của nó là gì. Đây là viết thành hai lệnh. Thế còn nó hoàn toàn tương đương với việc em viết thành một câu lệnh, là câu lệnh này là gì? Vừa khai báo vừa khởi tạo nhé. Không có gì khác nhau giữa việc em viết hai lệnh này cả nhé. Nó dài dòng hơn một tí nhưng mà là gì? Nó rõ ràng là em tách biệt. Đấy. Được là em khai báo một câu, em khởi tạo một câu. Thế còn này là em viết chung rồi thôi. Thì bạn nào mà về sau các bạn thành thạo rồi đúng không? Viết nhanh rồi thì các bạn có thể viết như thế này. Không gì khác nhau. Ok. Nhé. Chứ không bắt buộc là phải viết theo một kiểu nào cả. Em có thể viết thế nào cũng được, đều đúng. Ok.
Vâng.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So you have to get familiar with both of this kind of coding, because not only you who are the developer, there are many other developer, and when they write down like this, you have to understand. So no problem. Okay. Whatever they write down, you can understand and you know about it. Okay. Không vấn đề gì nhá. So we go to the second example, and you can suggest for me what will be printed out. To do this, you have to have the drafts. Firstly, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. In the first statement, what will happen? What will happen in the first statement? Who can try?
Define a variable named stocks.
Yes. And
with type int.
yes, that means in the memory, okay? You define a box of the ent, that means 4 bytes, to store stop. Okay, this is the first statement. Okay, in the second statement,
Same the first statement.
You define
a variable named fair.
Yeah.
Int.
With the type int, okay, of the 4 byte. Okay, and the third statement.
Assigns the value 0 to variable stocks.
Yes, that mean in this box you will store 0. Okay.
and fare with value 02.
0. Okay. And in the 5?
Assign variable stop with current value and add 1.
Okay, that means you get the current value of stop and you add it to 1 and you assign again to the stop. And now the stop will be
value 1.
Yeah, and now the stop will be 1. Okay. Again, the fare equal to
add 5 to current value and assign again to fare with value 5.
That means it will be 5. Okay, currently it's 0. Okay. Okay. And then in the 7, we add again 1 to
current value of variable stops.
Yes. That means it will be changed to
2.
2. Okay. And for the fare, it's changed to
8.
8. Yeah. And in the 9, stop will be
3.
3. And fare will be
15.
15. Yeah. And then what do you have at the last statement?
This statement will print a string to screen. And
what is the string?
The bus made $3.
No
Three
space.
times.
Yeah, no space here.
Space.
Phase 15. The phase 15.
Mistake.
Okay. And then?
And after
be careful.
And a space.
Yes. And then after?
And a space.
A space. 3. Okay.
Space.
Space. And stop. Okay. This what is print in the screen. Okay. So again, be careful with space. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, this is correct. You have to understand like this. Okay. Don't go quickly. You go step by step. You can go slowly, but you understand exactly what happened in each statement. Okay. So this is the result, and be careful with the space correctly. Okay. Yeah, the result here. The bus makes $15 after 3 stops. Okay. So we will talk a little about the literal. What is the literal for representing the value? Okay. Literal đây là hiểu theo kiểu là gì? Các cái cách biểu diễn, các cái nguyên dạng. Nghĩa của nó thì là nguyên dạng, nhưng mà các bạn sẽ hiểu là cái cách biểu diễn các cái giá trị cho số thực, số nguyên, số boolean, rồi ký tự vân vân như nào, là cách biểu diễn giá trị ở các kiểu dữ liệu. Oh sorry, cái bút của tôi rất là khó chịu là nó cứ tự nó tạo ra các cái gạch như thế này. Chưa khắc phục được từ năm ngoái. Okay, so you will know how you can represent a value of the data type. Okay, for example, when you have to represent an integer value. Okay, this decimal value, you can use the decimal system, tức là hệ 10 nhá, có thể biểu diễn bình thường theo hệ 10. Or you can use the octal system, là gì? Hệ cơ số mấy? Octal là hệ cơ số mấy?
8.
8, đúng rồi. Okay, you can use octal. octal to represent an integer, and you will beginning with 0, okay, to indicate that you use octal representation, okay. And you can use a hexadecimal with 0x at the beginning to represent a value in hexadecimal, tức là hệ cơ số 16, đúng chưa? Okay, this for integer value. And remember that when you in the integer we have integer value, and you have here you have a long type, okay? ENT type, okay. And be careful when you have to represent a value in the long type, you have to end with L or L, uppercase or capitalized or lowercase, okay. Tức là lưu ý khi biểu diễn các cái giá trị kiểu long thì phải có chữ L cuối cái giá trị đấy. Ví dụ tôi muốn biểu diễn giá trị 26 của kiểu long thì tôi phải viết là 26L nhé. Hoặc là 26L nhỏ. Riêng cái này thì uppercase với lowercase nó không case sensitive. Đấy. Nhưng phải dùng biểu diễn thế này thì tôi mới có thể gán nó cho một cái biến có kiểu là long, ví dụ biến x có kiểu là long thì mới được nhá. Còn nếu các bạn chỉ viết 26 thì nó sẽ hiểu đây là giá trị biểu diễn cho kiểu INT. Đấy. Và nếu bạn gán nó cho một giá trị long thì sẽ bị sai. Cái này thì chúng ta sẽ tìm hiểu ở các bài tiếp theo nhá. Ở phần tiếp theo. Okay. But remember this, how you represent a value in a data type. So if you want to represent a long value of the long type, you have to end it with L, okay? And for example, you can use this is no case sensitive for 0x here, for example, or for the A here. Tức là với các cái biểu diễn dạng integer cho thì các bạn không cần phải quan tâm đến cái việc viết hoa viết thường nhé. Đấy. Thì đấy là riêng với cái này thôi, còn với các cái biểu diễn khác thì Java vẫn phân biệt hoa thường nhé. Đấy là trong cái hệ số 16, được chưa? Hệ cơ số 16. Okay. So firstly is for integer value, and then it's for floating point value or the real number value. If you want to represent a value in float, you have to end it with F or F. Okay. If you have to represent a value of double, you have to end it with D or D. And this is and if you don't have L or F or D, it will be decide that this is double value. Tức là khi các bạn biểu diễn các cái số, ví dụ 7 chấm các bạn biểu diễn là 7 thì mặc định nó sẽ là kiểu INT. Nếu 7L thì nó là gì? Kiểu long. Nếu 7.1 thì mặc định nó là kiểu double. Nếu 7.1F thì nó là kiểu float nhé. Và nếu 7.1D thì nó là tường minh của kiểu double. Được chưa? Tức là nếu các bạn biểu diễn một cái số mà số đấy là số thực 5.0, các bạn không có D hay F ở đằng sau thì nó sẽ mặc định đấy là kiểu double nhé. Đấy. Còn L thì là cho integer rồi. Đấy. Nếu 70 không có L ở đằng sau thì mặc định nó là INT. Đấy. 5 chấm mấy tức là kiểu số thực mà không có gì thì mặc định nó là double. Đấy là những quy tắc các bạn phải nhớ. Yeah. And when you want to represent an exponent expression, you have to use E or E capitalized. Okay. Here, when you have no remark, the default is double type. Okay. For Boolean, you just have two values, true or false. Okay. For character, you use the single quote like this, or like this, or use the value in the mapping table. Yeah, and for string, you have to use the double quote, and you put your string inside the double quote. This is how you represent. Okay. For the control key, sometimes you have to use control key in your program. You can have, for example, you have to represent backspace by a slash B or slash F, slash N for new life, for return, for tab. This is the control key in your keyboard. And you have to represent it in your program, okay? And sometimes you have to represent the special character in a string. For example, you already have a string like this. Hello world. This is a string. And you want to print out something like this. Hello. And you want to print out the double quote also. So if you put the double quote here, Java will decide that this is the end of the string, and this part will make you the error. Okay, so if you want to put the quotation here correctly, you have to use it representation with the backslash like this. Okay, so the system will print out to you hello world correctly, and you don't have the error. Bạn hiểu không? Tức là ví dụ bình thường mình biểu diễn một cái show đúng không? Thì là mình sẽ nhét nó ở giữa hai cái dấu ngoặc kép này. Thế thì bây giờ ví dụ cô muốn hiện ra là hello ngoặc kép world đúng không? Và cô gõ vào như thế này. Đấy, thì đây cũng là một ngoặc kép đúng không? Thế thì khi đưa vào chương trình dịch thì nó sẽ làm sao? Coi là từ đây đến đây đã là kết thúc một show rồi, bởi vì là Java thì nó chỉ biết là cứ đi từ ngoặc kép này đến ngoặc kép tiếp theo là hết một show. Đấy, thì nó sẽ thấy thừa giai đoạn này và nó sẽ báo lỗi và bị hỏng. Đấy. Thế thì để có thể hiển thị ra được cái dấu ngoặc kép này đúng và Java khi nhìn thấy cái dấu ngoặc kép này thì đừng coi đây là dấu kết thúc show, thì các bạn phải viết nó là dùng một cái backslash, tức là cái gạch chéo ngược này trước cái dấu ngoặc kép mà mình không muốn Java treat nó là end of string. Đấy. Thì nếu các bạn viết thế này thì khi Java nó chạy, JVM nó chạy đúng không? Nó bảo đây là bắt đầu string, hello, đến chỗ này nó thấy slash và quotation thì nó hiểu là không phải là kết thúc show đâu, mà đây là dấu ngoặc kép, nháy kép. Đấy thì nó lại tiếp tục đúng không? Và lấy nốt cái từ word này, sau đó nó nhìn thấy cái dấu ngoặc này thì nó mới biết là đây là end of string. Đấy. Thế thì cả cái đoạn này sẽ được in ra đúng nhá. Thì đấy là special character in string nhá. It look like the apostrophe like this. Is to distinguish it with the simple quote. Okay. You have to use the backslash before the apostrophe. And even when you want to print out the backslash, you have to write it with double backslash. So Java will ignore this and understand that this is a backslash. Okay? Yeah. Bài hôm nay thì we have to stop here because we don't have more time. And in the next week we will talk about the data type conversion. Okay? And you already have the slide, and maybe you can read the slide before the class, and you can understand clearly about the lesson. Okay, so do you have any question for today?
Em chưa thấy slide đâu.
Slide. I upload the slide to the team. You open your team. You go to our team, and you will see 5. Okay, in your team, you go to team, the OOP team, and you see in the 5. Okay, category.
In general channel.
Yes, in general channel. In general channel, you see 5, and in the 5 you will find out the folder for slide. I upload the English version and Vietnamese version also for you. Okay. Yeah. Go to the general channel. I will see general. Oh my God. Where is my pen? Okay. You go to general channel. Okay. And you find the file called category. It is okay?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yes.
Did anyone having question?
I think it's clear.
I think yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
can I ask some question? That I have some question.
Yes.
That
Mm-hmm.
when we have the topic of the mini project.
Maybe in the third week, okay? Because we have this week for someone to train the class. So maybe on the third or on the fourth week, I will present to you the project, okay? Because now you not start with the OOP, so it's not need to start quickly, okay? We have to pass, for example, 1 or 2 lesson about the OOP, and then you can start it. It's not too slow, okay? Yên tâm nhá, chúng ta còn chưa học bài nào về OOP thì chưa cần phải xin ngay đề tài đâu nhé. Các bạn cứ học một vài buổi về cái đấy đi để bạn hình dung được về cái đấy nó là thế nào. Rồi sau đó các bạn tiếp cận vào bài tập lớn. Bài tập gọi là bài tập lớn nhưng mà nó bé lắm nhá. Small project. It's not a big project. Okay. Khoảng tuần thứ 3 hoặc tuần thứ 4 thì cô sẽ đưa đề tài cho các bạn, và các cái đề tài nó xem cho nên là chúng ta sẽ pick up randomly. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? No. Okay. Thank you. If you have question, chatting with me in the team. Okay. So goodbye and see you next week.
Bye. See you later.
Okay. See you later.
Goodbye.
See you next week.
Later.
See you later.
Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye, Miss Diệp. Thank you. Goodbye. You have tried your program correctly. Thank you. Goodbye.